This is Kuma Bwete from Mboka Anazambe Community and God's Universal Village in Gabon. And I'm here today in Costa Rica, Ikara, which is an extension of the God's Universal Village. And I'm going to be talking about some very important knowledge within Bwete, according to the Babongo First Nations people who originated the tradition and from which we derive God's knowledge that was handed to the pygmies of the forest. So first and foremost, my job as Gangana Somba in the Myobe tradition is to bridge the two worlds. Within the spirituality we have the world of the infinitely small, the female, feminine world, and the spiritual world of the masculine, the infinitely large. Reconciliation really has everything to do with Bwete and is throughout. My job there is to bridge the two worlds. We'll find repeating themes within Bwete, true Bwete, of this reconciliation. Male-female union, two worlds as union. So all of this is unification and realignment through reconciliation. Because within our age, clearly we're in states of confusion that require reconciling. Our issues are not within concepts, ideas, evaluations. Our true experience is one of division, and the division is from God to self, God within man, which is the union. Only from here can we start to really launch into what Bwete is. Because today, and if you have a quick look around you right now, or tomorrow, or yesterday, or whenever you're doing this, you won't hear this about Bwete, which is sometimes an alarming signifier of the lack of true knowledge of what we're trying to achieve, which is the brotherhood of man, not someone making money for their retreat center. The money through these exchanges must be returned in reciprocity for higher spiritual access. We must use modern material interchange sanely, as I've said before. So reconciliation is what we're really talking about within Bwete. How do we achieve this, and how does Bwete perhaps allow this to happen? And now we know that we have the use of Iboga, which is completely inseparable from the process of Bwete. Now, through Iboga, and we hear this a lot, but I'd like to come at this off the back of what I just talked about with reconciliation. Iboga, even for the layman, if we drop all of our evaluating and our study and all of this information we think we know about Iboga, if we can drop that for a moment and be completely unconditioned and listen, anyone can find through Iboga, if they're really paying attention, that this is reconciliation. Through the Bwete process with Iboga, you will see that there are results produced within self that give a whole response of self. The self is now reflecting upon itself. It's whole. It's not chasing problems outside of itself. It's not trying to seek or find answers, which is division and conceptualizing. There becomes action, so the individual starts to act. Now, how does this happen? Through the reconciling process. So someone like me, Gangana Somba, is aware of the two worlds. That's what we train in. We also know the functioning universally, not in context for the individual, but universally of Iboga. So we maintain the parameters of the teachings and the usage of Iboga so the individual can be coerced or guided, not coerced I should say, guided towards its ultimate value, fulfillment and purpose in life, which is the unification of the masculine and feminine energies within self, the spiritual and physical worlds. So this is what we're doing. This is the spiritual application of Iboga and Bwete, which is what it is. We can conceptualize about what Iboga is all day long until the cows come home. And I will say this, and if you look into it yourself, not one of those concepts is what Iboga is. Not one. Now, will you ever hear anyone talk of Iboga like this? No, because they're always talking about superficial, agenda-filled, derived intent to solicit something from you. There is nothing that a true Gangana Somba needs from you other than you discovering that you are the unification of worlds and therefore God in self. That is the ultimate goal. A world full of individuals who are aware of the unification and are acting, not conceptualizing, but moving with God without resistance, is a safe planet, of which resembles the golden ages of the past and the beginnings of the Renaissance periods of Bwete and other beautiful dynastic periods right back into pre-dynastic Egypt, from which Bwete has huge involvement. So this is everything. The reconciliation is what it's about. If we pay attention to other cultures of the time, we'll hear the same thing. The gods had left. When will they return? We have to keep going through these processes until they return. This is what they're referring to, metaphorically and literally. There was once upon a time one common ancestor for everyone and one spirituality that ruled the planet. And there's many ways for us to utilize modern science even now and that rhetoric to show ourselves spiritually that this was the case. We have enough now to understand. The world has enough information. Consider this. We are perhaps more sick than ever before, but somehow under the deep illusion through our constant conceptualizing that we're actually healthy and more aware. This is a dangerous position and predicament upon which people are not paying attention. The connection that everyone feels that they're having through modern social media, internet and everything else, they think that it's made the world infinitely smaller. Yes, but what it's done is spread the disease of constant conceptualizing with minimal action. Have a look. Getting on the internet and getting an answer isn't acting. That's not creative at all. That's reiterating your victimhood because you're taking the information from someone else. This is not spiritualism. Instagram, even now, we can see it's full of supposed spiritualists, all plagiarizing each other's information. That's not spiritualism. Whether that's in the Iboga world or anything else. Mboka and Azambe and myself are here for the brotherhood of man. No other purpose. We are missionaries. And the mission, from my perspective now in the West, from my understanding of the two psychologies, back to the homeland to here, my perspective, I am bridging the two worlds in another reconciling process, in an attempt to hold signposts and guiding an individual towards what they already are. There's no higher purpose. We give to give again. And this reconciling will only happen through that process. Everything is giving. Pay attention to the wholeness of what we have around us. without your concepts. Leave them behind. And how we're going to reconcile through this process of Bwete and Iboga is to completely leave behind every condition, valuation, judgment, and idea that you might have of self or anything seemingly outside of self, which is illusory, because everything is a projection of self. Everything must go. Like a cheap discount sale, everything's got to go. For you to travel through self and reconcile and unify, you must get rid of all of it to see how God truly functions. Because all we've seemingly done in the modern world is accumulate unnecessary information, hoarding, holding on to it, generating disease, fear, guilt, pain, envy, war. There's been enough war. Thousands of wars. Thousands of politicians answering questions as to how to stop them. No one stopped anything. Nothing's happened. And then we have people today saying, I can sell you some plant medicines and we can save the world. No. The revolution starts in your mind by letting the mind recede into the soul's domain. And from the soul, in your connection, you move with what is, not against the tide. Because today, everyone in any state of confusion or seeking, and when I say confusion, I'm not just saying people who have an addiction. Iboga isn't for that. I'm talking about people who are still seeking. So they say, I've had lots of plant medicine. Well, why are you coming to Iboga? You haven't found out anything, clearly. And that's the mindset you need. You need to say, I don't know anything. I haven't learned from the other things. I'm ready to try and learn. I know I do this daily. We're here as a family to go through this. But I am always in these transmissions attempting to give the most simplistic direction on what this is about, without the nonsense. I'm acting upon this. I don't perform this video, I just talk it. I'm acting and living and breathing Bwete and what I do. As an example for those who come to act and believe in what they want to do, without the conceptualizing. Have a close look, please. I implore you all, before you consider Bwete and Iboga, have a close look. This will accelerate your process. Have a close look at how you are existing in ideas and how that creates division within yourself. You live in an idea of what you should or shouldn't do, or want to do, or don't want to do, but that's not what you are now. That's not what you are now. And you do it all day long. How can a soul or an individual or the physical organism react to accurate data when you're in your head about another position other than the one you're walking in? This is why we have accidents. This is why we have dramas, disease, everything else. Iboga is to reconcile this, align self through soul and flesh. The Trinity is mentioned everywhere if we look closely. The Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. So, some things to think about. And I'll implore everyone to realize that the information I'm talking about isn't some idea. It's instantly available to you now. Now, without Iboga. Iboga is something else. Iboga and Bwete is something else. It further solidifies these processes and allows you to learn more of who you are in all of your activities. That's what true Iboga usage is about. That's why it's Ganga Samba, we eat it daily. We must be able to act and learn and receive messages through the unification of soul and self, soul and flesh, in every facet of our life, until our mind is completely still, quiet, in infinite nothingness of which everything resides. from there, people can come, and we want them to learn the art form, that it's within you. It's not something that can be harnessed or cultivated, it's something that you know instantly. So once again, thank you for all humanity, for being together. Let's realize what we are. We give great thanks to our brothers and sisters at Mboka Anazambe, King Adamangana, and Father Almighty Zambe Kana for the renewal of life.